G'day everyone, Paul Sona here, CEO Biggin and Scott, and I'm joined by David Lack today, who's director at our Port Melbourne office, and we're just going to give you a bit of a market update for the end of 2018, what's been happening in Port Melbourne and the surrounding suburbs, and then we might step into what we believe could potentially be happening in 2019.
Absolutely.
Which is the big question everyone's asking us at the moment. So how have you found, let's maybe break it down to the last 6 months, because
absolutely. I mean, it feels like it's been quite a long year, but
doesn't it?
It's looking at I suppose our results over the last 12 months and more recently over the last 6 months. There's been really two distinct sweet spots in terms of properties that have been selling really well. We found apartments sort of priced between $600,000 up to about $1 million. We haven't been able to get enough of those, so they have been selling really well, and they've been selling to first home buyers as well as people looking to downsize or set up a base in a city as well as have a property elsewhere.
Yep.
And then the other sweet spot's really been in that $1.5 to $2.5 million range, where we've had a lot of people looking to downsize, so selling the big family home out in the suburbs. Kids are in the process of leaving home, finishing schooling, and that's been actually a really strong market for us.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? So now these, have they been traditionally auctions, or the auction process is bringing the buyers out and then it goes through the finance period that we're finding is an issue at the moment?
Yeah, it's interesting. The property's sort of between that $1.5 to $2.5 million range.
Yep.
They have typically sold in a 3 or 4 week period.
Yep.
And finance hasn't been too much of an issue.
Yep.
Because people sort of been downsizing financially. That $600 to $1 million price range, it's meant that some of the deals that we've done have been in some cases subject to finance for 1 or 2 weeks. There's been the occasional request for a little bit longer than that, which hasn't been a problem, but the banks have just been doing a little bit more due diligence.
Which is interesting. It means to a certain extent demand with the changing market has stayed high and people are acknowledging value.
Absolutely.
So they're moving pretty quick. It's really interesting.
I suppose the other trend that we've seen is, particularly at the upper end, is when we've done 4 sales this year in that, sort of 1.7 to 2.5 range off market. So the demand is definitely there.
Yeah.
People know what they want, and they just can't typically find it. And our vendors are saying, you know what, I'm happy to sell prior, I'm happy with the price, rather than go through the whole marketing and open for inspection process. Yeah,
so good point. If you are a buyer out there, you shouldn't be holding back in this market. You need to be putting your best foot forward early, because chances are either the finance or whatever it may be, but a lot of the owners are motivated, they understand where the market's at, and they'll make quick decisions. So you shouldn't be holding back. So demand was high coming into this shift in the market, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
2019, what do you see? Lots of stock going into 2019?
Yeah, look, we've listed a number of properties. We could always do with more, and just looking at the calendar moving forward, again, an interesting year ahead. April's going to be quite a difficult month for sellers, because we've got school holidays, we've got Easter, we've got Anzac, and possibly an election. So we're recommending that those people are looking to sell, definitely getting in early. Yeah. This is probably the first time in probably 10 years that I'm back on the 2nd of January. So the demand is there. A number of our vendors have taken our advice and said, look, they're coming to the market a little bit earlier. Yeah. And we'll see how we go. But I think January, February, March will be very, very strong months. And obviously April, there's a bit going on, and then maybe again May, June. Yeah,
lots of distractions in that first section of next year, and that's you'll see in the newsletters David puts out and we put out. It's there are a lot of distractions, and people pin those in terms of that's not when I want to make a decision. I'll have my holiday, or I'll do whatever it may be. So we are expecting for the end of school holidays for things to be fairly busy. There'll be what we believe is the new market at the right prices, and I don't think you'll see the stock that you've seen leading into it.
No.
Areas like yours, which it's different in every area, there's demand, so that's going to put a bit of pressure on things.
I mean, we still think that our area is quite underpriced when we look at, the 1 million plus suburbs, which are pretty much all over Melbourne now, close to the water, close to the city, great amenities. It's still relatively cheap. You can buy under $1 million it's a great lifestyle.
Yeah, it certainly is. Investors?
Look, investors have, I suppose, sort of disappeared a little bit from the market. So, interestingly enough, most of the properties that we've sold in the last 6 months have been sold to owner-occupiers.
Interesting. And they're trading up and trading down, which is very interesting. Yeah. It's because the people that have been in the apartments, younger people, they're trading up and the oldies are trading down. So,
I mean, it's a good time to really trade up anyway. I mean, that sort of that changeover price, that gap between what you're selling for and what you're buying is smaller than what it was 2 or 3 years ago. And we're recommending, to people that are looking to maybe get something a little bit bigger or a little bit more expensive, sell your existing property at the moment, get a long settlement, and that will just give you the opportunity of finding that perfect property. Yeah,
very true. So if you're not already on David's database, jump on there, because David's terrific in his reports that he puts out on a regular basis. He'll really keep you in tune with what's happening with the market. If it's customer service you're looking for, they pride themselves on that. So, David's very hands-on with his team, and they won't let you down. And here's to 2019. Hopefully it's another great year.
Yeah, no, very positive about it.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone.